Hello.
Hi.
What's the name of our show, really? Are we really hitting naked video? Because nobody's really going to know what that means.
Miss Kilby's audio experience.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Sorry, 2 seconds. Ow.
Okay.
My computer battery sucks. Hold on. 1 second. I'm recording a whole podcast. Okay, can you please close the door?
We're
My
kicking
headphones
this mother off. This clam bake is officially cooking.
Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of our podcast. We are Miss Kilby's Video Conservatory for Girls, and we teach female entrepreneurs how to create authentic video campaigns in a really simple and easy way that's going to move their business forward.
Thanks for tuning in. And today we are going to talk about how to get started with video if you have not gotten into it yet. And then we are going to move on into some more intermediate tips for those of you who are more familiar with video. So we are excited. Thank you again for joining us, and let's do it.
Stoked to be here. So, I think that, literally as a new company, I don't think anybody knows who the hell we are as people and as a company. And I think we should get into that and sort of why the hell should they listen to us,
Yeah. Let's introduce ourselves.
Do it.
Let's do it.
Hi, my name is Megan Ager, and I am head of social media strategy at Miss Kilby's Video Conservatory for Girls. And my background is in the entertainment industry, where I create a lot of digital content for brands and businesses and help them distribute their content on social media platforms all over the internet. And I create a lot of original marketing campaigns for TV personalities, YouTubers, you name it.
I am Callahan Carr. I am the head of strategy at Miss Kilby's Video Conservatory for Girls. My background is in the music business and marketing. So I have worked with a lot of brands, including network television, to build and grow audiences for the last decade.
Right on. My name's Alex LeMay. I'm the creative director here. I am a branded content creator for companies like Starbucks and Toyota and Xbox, and I also am a showrunner for big digital platforms like YouTube Red, Maker. When Verizon Go 90 was a thing, I made a ton of stuff for them. So, my goal here is to kind of help people with what shows up on camera and kind of the idea of what the creative is. And, the thing I love about this company is that, one, they made room for a dude, even though it's called Miss Kilby's Video Conservatory for Girls. I think that we're creating a culture that is far beyond and really kind of looking towards the future of what a company needs to be. As you can see, we're all in 3 different places, not necessarily because of the quarantine, but because we don't believe in you have to have an office to do important things. So I cannot wait to kick this mother off and really dive in, because video is going, like, everybody thinks video is crazy now, like it's going nuts. It is going to be bonkers in 2 years.
yeah.
It's the only thing people are going to search for. And so I'm really interested in diving into, with our clients as they are now, maybe we can help the people listening understand what their issues and where they feel stuck, and maybe they feel stuck in the same place. You guys really have your hand on the pulse of our clients. So why don't you go ahead and tell us where the hell our clients really are in this, right?
Yeah, I think that a lot of times I know I need video. I don't feel ready. I don't ever feel camera ready. I know my business so well, but I'm not sure what to say once I get on camera. I just get nervous. I don't like being on camera. I don't feel like I ever look like I should be on camera. And it's a whole cluster of micro confidence issues, I think. I don't know. What do you think, Megan?
Yeah. No, I hear the same exact thing. And also, and it's funny because I heard this twice yesterday from friends of mine who are on camera all the time, so it's ironic. But I felt this way too, and it's that with like all the pressure of people feeling like you keep hearing viral, you know, I need a viral video. I need a video that millions of people are looking at. You know, I go on TikTok and, you know, my friend of friend is blowing up because her videos are so perfect and they're funny and I have nothing to post about. Why would anyone want to listen to me? Like, you know, and it's more of like feeling like they do have nothing to offer value-wise and like who cares about what they're going to say. And that's that's talking to people in whether it's for their business or their personal brand. I keep hearing that.
And I think that is a struggle across all industries, right? Is that
absolutely
so many people feel like they're being salesy, and we've seen the videos, right? We've seen the videos where all of a sudden it's like you filmed a wood chipper, and there's some person pushing so hard that it's disingenuous, it's not real, it feels fake, and then you're like, wow, marketing sucks. Right? Like, why would I want to do that? Because that's not me. And so they don't feel real. And at the end of the day, video, when done really well, or when done correctly, and when done from a place of who you really are, it helps you create the business of you, the one that is based on who you really are, rather than the one that you want to convince people or the mask you want to put on or something like that. And when video is done well, and I got to tell you, I mean, I'm lucky to work with these two women, and they do it so well. And, you know, Megan is like this internet superstar that we're just like crazy lucky. She is. Don't let her knock it.
But it's so funny because I fell into the same thing yesterday after talking to my one friend who was feeling really down about her videos. And she was like, they suck. Like, my one friend is blowing up on Instagram, TikTok, whatever. And then in turn, obviously, she's getting more sales on... She's making some shirts or something. So my friend is really frustrated. And then I got off the phone with her and I was like, oh, I suck. And I don't know what, like, my videos aren't that specific. And then I went through like our stuff and I was like, you know, you can just go down the rabbit hole of looking at what everyone else is doing and comparing yourself.
100%.
And at the end of the day, it's not about that. It's just like you have to hone into you rather than focusing on all of the outside noise.
Yeah, and I think people do think that they need to become like this internet sensation where they're hopping the fence and standing in front of like Lear jets and shit.
Yeah.
And that they have to have this lifestyle where nothing ever goes wrong. Like, hey, you know, I see this in you know, the male counterpart version of this, which is you know, white guy experiences slight change. Right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, where there's this perfect environment. The greatest marketers I know, like if you take Gary Vee, and I know everybody mentions it, but if you take him, he is warts and all, man. Or Casey Neistat, right? Who has his hands in a ton of pies. Casey films the mistakes and keeps them in. And that's why he's got 10 million followers. But again, we're not asking anybody to become, you know, some Instagram model, because that's just not real. And people are going to connect with, especially through video. I mean, they're going to buy into you more than they're going to buy into a product set, right? Like, you know, all of a sudden it's a grocery list of shit.
For
you
sure.
know?
I think the issue too is that the word authentic has lost its genuine meaning.
Yes.
And so despite the issue of having a viral video, that should never be an objective or goal. And when I have a client that is what their target is, we have to have a serious conversation first.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, the authenticity is... it has to be genuine, and an audience can sniff that out so easily now. So just because one particular thing worked for a brand or a personal brand to go viral or to gain a lot of followers and traction quickly does not mean that it's always the right avenue for you. If it's not authentic, if it's off-brand, don't do it. It's not worth, you know?
I remember when everybody was trying to do the Apple commercial, right? Like the white psych, and it was beautifully lit, and it was but you're not Apple, right? Like, you're not Apple, nor should you try to be, right? Yes. Apple is Apple. I worked at a production company in LA where they got on a tear for this shit. And this was for branded stuff. This was for big clients. And it was just like all of a sudden everything started looking like it was, what's that guy's name, that actor's name who was the Apple kid for a long time? He was in Dodgeball. You know who I'm talking about. Justin
Long.
Justin Long, right? Like all of a sudden, all our talent looked like Justin Long.
Yeah.
and everything was white psych, and it was super clean, and it was like, yeah, but that's not this, right? This is an outdoor show, and you've got us in a soundstage. So my point is that that word authentic has just been beaten to fucking death.
Yep.
And I think we have to be really careful. We use it in our campaigns, and maybe we got to back off from it. I don't know. But it's such a great word. Like, it is so about who you really are. And I think we just have to really, help our clients find out who they really are and being okay with being vulnerable. Because I can tell you, I make a video a week for YouTube. And I can tell you, when I tell on myself and when I talk about being a real human being, my potential clients who are watching that video and people who have become my clients, they became my clients because they felt like we were in it together. They felt like, it was something that like, oh, he's me, right? And so I think that's kind of what one of the hesitations for people starting out is. So, I mean, I think we should probably go down kind of a list of things that you guys do, I mean, so well, to be able to, quickly get camera ready without all of a sudden you're not going into the Miss USA pageant, right?
Right.
And something wrong happened. And how you guys quickly just get into the mindset of just being able to turn on and go, because now it's second nature to you. But I remember when we all started out.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, remember those first videos? Holy crap. But we got going, and we never had to do that first one again, right?
Yeah. I think like, I mean, I can speak for myself. Like, I've been acting since I was young, and that's helped. So, I'm not saying you need to go to like an acting conservatory, but personally, it took me forever to be comfortable. And I've had a lot of intense acting coaches who would just like force you to get up on stage and embarrass yourself just so you can get past that. So that definitely helped, but not everyone has to do that. And a lot of it, I realized after years of like struggling and failing, I realized at the end of the day, I just have to do something that makes me feel comfortable before I get on camera. And then, I mean, a lot of it's comedy. So literally it could be me like watching my favorite stand-up comedian or watching a stupid sketch or putting a wig on. Anything that I feel like can get me present and get me like nerves loose. So whether I like dance around like an idiot, I go for a jog, I call one of my friends who makes me feel good and talk for 5 minutes, watch something funny, and then just do it. And in the beginning, obviously I didn't have that routine, and so I just forced myself. Like, I literally just forced myself to take a camera, and I drew a fake mustache on, and I sat on my washer and dryer. I don't know why, and I had like this really bad British accent and like cried about my girlfriend leaving me, and that was like a 15-minute video I put on YouTube and got 2 views, one of which I think was my dad, who told me it was embarrassing. And then I just kept forcing myself to do it once a week. That was it.
Yeah.
Boy, that video really sells it for people, right? Like,
I
they want
mean
2 views. I mean, but that's the thing, is like this view hunting is kind of shitty too, right? And we need to cut that out, because that I don't want people feeling like you're kind of a view fucker, right? Like you're just trying to hunt for views, because I think if you are genuine and authentic and you solve a problem for people, like our content has to solve a problem for you, even your comedy stuff, right? Solves a problem. It helps people for maybe just a minute escape. Your TikTok stuff is hilarious. You got like 20,000 people in a day and a half, which shocked the hell out of me. We all knew you were capable of it, but it's surprising that when you're real and when you take the gloves off, that people pay attention. And when you go off script, when you go and remove the filter, you get farther, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things you said there that I wanted to lean into. First of which, I think just forcing yourself to do it is really important. And the fact that one of my things that I get a really great response from is that I am so willing to throw myself under the bus and make fun of things, make fun of myself, and just poke at the stuff that is unreasonable or that we all are guilty of. And it's like, guys, we can do better. But the view count is not the main goal. However, if you spend, I don't know how long you spent sitting on the washer and dryer or editing that, whatever. Let's say it took you 9 hours from getting ready, editing, putting it up. You spent 9 hours to produce a video that 2 people watched. If you or whomever people were to spend those 9 hours learning how to make better, more engaging, more authentic video, the end result, like it's not like a sunken cost, opportunity cost. It's that time. It's like you can spend hours upon hours upon hours putting some shit together just to slap it up and throw it together. But if you have the understanding, the strategy, and the skill set behind that to like really bring your messaging forward and just do it, you're coming with your all, like that's always going to be a better result. And I think that audiences are so well informed now that that's what they want to see is people
100%.
Really.
Yeah, and I think, like, Callahan, your video where, you know, I mean, one of the things I love about you is your bravery. Like, you walked out of a job and into this. You just, like, literally no fucking safety net. And then, you know, the crisis happens and all of this shit, and you roll with it. But one of the things I loved was the video where you celebrated being able to work from home. And you had costume changes. You were doing an entire board meeting with some stuffed animals. Yeah. You did some, I think there was a karate chop or two, you know, and that got a ton of attention. People really enjoyed that. And it was because you removed the filter. You weren't like, you were willing not to take yourself so seriously, because if all it is information coming out to people, like that works on the head, right? That doesn't work on the heart. We have to make people feel something. And if they feel something for us, they feel something for our product. And if we're genuine, they know that our product is genuine or our service is genuine, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think we can, you know, there are going to be plenty of, like, this is not, I don't think, the time to go, okay, get a ring light and do all this stuff. We're going to have videos of that stuff like crazy. Yeah. Right. But this, I think, really is about as much about just what do you do to just pull the trigger the first time? Because you got to remember, one of the best pieces of advice I got was be okay sucking for a while.
Oh,
like, be comfortable being uncomfortable and go into it with no shame, like the inner editor is the thing that kills genius, right? Like, oh, they'll think I'm stupid or this or that.
Yeah.
Like, who are we really I remember I was afraid of 5 people in my Facebook group, right? On my Facebook feed. Like, oh, I know Dave is going to say something, you know, like, who the hell does Alex think he is? And you know what? It never happened.
Yeah.
It never happened. And they, in fact, those people I was afraid of were going, this is amazing. Great job, Alex. Wishing you the best of luck. And Callahan, you got the same thing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And there may be people that come forward or they have something snarky or negative to say. And that's fine because they're not your target audience. You know, they're not who you're trying to reach. They're not who you're trying to help and grow. So in turn, they're not going to help you improve or grow with that kind of shitty attitude and negativity. I'm not saying, you know, just block it all out. It'll happen, but, you know, it comes and goes. And like being prepared to suck for a while, the first thing you do when you start a new workout regimen or eating lifestyle, because I don't want to say it's a diet, but you take before photos, right? Like you take measurements, you weigh yourself, you figure out where you're at. and otherwise there's no progress. And
Yep.
it's the same thing for video and developing your brand and who you are. We all start somewhere. But you have to start. And if you don't, you're never going to get to that place. So it may be hard. It may suck. It may feel like you're not moving at the pace that you'd like, but it's one foot in front of the other, like
Literally.
every day.
And the good thing is too is I feel like most people, well, I don't know who's watching this, but I feel like our target audience, the good thing is that if you have a company or a brand or, you know, a personal brand even, if you can provide information and educate people, that's so much easier than, because I started doing video just to be funny. And that also, like, sometimes I fell into, like, I'm going to copy this person. I'm going to do that. I'm going to, and at the end of the day, that wasn't my brand. And I had tons of friends who unfollowed me and told me I was embarrassing myself. But I just kept doing it. And ironically, one of them, my friend from high school, he unfollowed me and I ran into him. I started doing these comedy videos and I was making fun of fitness models, and a lot of people were like, you look embarrassing. I ran into this guy from high school at a bar and he was like, I'm sorry, I had to unfollow you. Your stuff is really cringy. And it just makes me uncomfortable. I love you as a person, but like, I can't watch it. 5 years later, he basically copied what I was doing and now has his own satirical character on his Instagram page. So even so the point is that, like, if people give you shit or they don't get it, that's fine. And whoever you're selling to, those usually aren't your friends anyways.
Well, and those are the three categories of people we have as potential clients are the yeses, the nos, and the maybes.
Right.
And the yeses are the yeses, and anybody who's going to come out of the woodwork and literally just like assail you. First off, there's something else going on there.
Yes.
Because it's usually venom, and it's like, oh God, man, I feel so like this is all you got, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you blow right by those people because
Exactly.
they're on the sidelines. They're never going to do what you're going to do, right? Like just the fact that you know the people who watch our videos and listen to who will be listening to this podcast, they've already done something great. They already took a huge risk of going, I'm going to take my own life into my own hands and determine what my future looks like by just inventing the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I have no idea where they've already caved into the unknown. So video is just another version of that. And I want to say that you do have something to say, right? These people do have something to say. Their voice
Absolutely.
does matter. What they provide people does matter. And why not you, right? Why not you
Totally.
as somebody who gets to be massively successful in your field? I know massively successful people, as everybody does. And they aren't always the brightest lights on the porch. They just do one or two things really, really well. Right? And they
well.
communicate it
Yeah.
well, and they come out. And if we can just get our clients to that point where fear can be there, it can come in the car, it just can't drive. You know, it just can't read the map. It doesn't get to touch the radio, right? It's going to be there. Those nerves, I'm nervous every time I get on camera. But then once I get into it, I just go and I'm like, wow, that was actually... And I remember the first videos, you know, I sounded like I was trying to be clever, right? Like, cleverness is not the thing one should be going for. It should be the truth. It should be a really kind of down-to-earth approach of just saying what you mean. And I think you can get a lot farther with that. And, you know, one of the tricks I learned was I put up a picture of my girlfriend at the time right under the lens, and I just talked to her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's cute.
But one tip I need to say, and I just read a PDF, and this grinds my gears, is if one more person says, practice in front of the mirror. Like, you ever want to be fucking self-conscious, get in front of the mirror and watch yourself do this stuff.
That's
right?
so stupid.
Such a bad, it's like this 1945 acting school.
Well, also,
You know?
I saw someone write out a script and put it next to your screen. Like,
that's not gonna happen.
No.
Just bullet points.
If you literally sit, like, when I started acting, because acting on stage is totally different than in front of a camera. When you start acting in front of a camera, it's weird because it's like this random person just staring at you. but I would turn a camera off and just literally sit and talk to it. Like, talk to it, like, with it off, like it's a stuffed animal or, like, you know, your dog. And just get used to it. But looking at a mirror is the worst advice I've ever heard in my life, actually.
Yeah.
I know. I just read that, by the way. I just heard somebody giving that advice who's in our field. And it's like,
Oh, dear.
you know, please.
No, because when you're filming yourself on a camera, you're not looking at yourself.
No, you're not.
No.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be. You
Well, you
should not
shouldn't
be.
Yeah, and that lens does two things, right? It either shuts you down or makes you either brings out the best in you, or a third thing is it makes you somebody you're not, right?
Yeah.
Like you watch people pushing, and when you're pushing, instead of relaxing into it and just saying it, you don't push, Callahan.
No, you don't.
That's
No,
supposed to-
but so I have a journalism background, so I came from
Oh.
delivering things in a very editorial way. And sometimes when you want to transition, that's just how you do. I read my child's bedtime stories like that. And I was like, oh my God, I'm a robot. I'm a fembot. And it was weird and annoying. And I really had to break it. I could hear and feel myself doing it. And I'm like, camera
right,
4.
right. So we've all freaking been there, right? So if we can say anything, it's just dive, like, don't dip your toe into the video waters. Dive
just
right
do
in.
it.
Say
Do
it.
it.
Be willing to suck for a little bit. It's okay. And by the way, the videos that I put out that I hated are usually the ones that get seen most. The ones that I thought were like gold. Right?
Always.
Nothing
Yes.
happens. You're like, holy shit. Right?
This is the one. This is it.
Yeah, this is it. These are men. You know?
Well, you said something too, like, tell the truth. So, Megan, that guy thought you were cringy, and so he had to unsubscribe to your comedy. And that's fine. It wasn't his style. I had an interesting response to a piece that I put out. And so you kind of poke fun at fitness and those kind of people and gurus. And I have a lot of background in corporate world, and so I challenge some of the tenets of that structure at times. And I put out a piece that was really just sort of celebrating the fact that I wasn't a part of that culture any longer. And I've had good experiences. I've had not so great experiences in different companies or corporate structures. And I just spoke my truth. And it was really interesting because I had a lot of people respond. I had people many states away, people I've never met before, people reach out to me and say that it really connected with them. I had former colleagues reach out to me from different states, different companies, and they all felt like it was directly speaking about their experience and their company. But they were not from the same company. And one person, most people really connected with, they're like, preach, girl. One person in particular actually came at me and said, I'd appreciate you not speaking that way about, you know, this place and whatnot. And I thought, oh my God, it actually wasn't about you. But the fact that they really identified with what I was saying, maybe, you know, I felt like that said something there. And, you know,
well, I mean, I think, corporate culture, that can get pretty paralyzing. And so there's this lane you got to live in. And then when you become an entrepreneur, right, you like widen the lane, and it's like, look, this is my show. And
they
I
don't
got
like
to figure
it.
out what's best for my clients.
Yeah.
And my clients don't want to
strange.
be delivered a product set. They want
Yeah. No.
something. Because at the end of the day, we are selling things, right? We're selling services or products or things like that. But we don't have to do it like, you know, I think there's so many people out there, and you see them, you know, in your feeds, who have the commercial out there, who bought some airtime or, you know, bought some Facebook ads or Instagram ads. And it becomes this impersonation of the person they think they want to be, who's impersonating somebody else they thought they want. So by the time it got to this one random dude who's selling, you know, freaking, you know, scale your business shit. It's so artificial, and then I can't tell the difference between any of them.
No.
And then you see that one person who comes in and talks about what they believe in. There's this guy, I wanted to send you guys this video, who does this self-defense course about how to protect yourself from a knife fight, right? From somebody attacking you with a knife. I know it sounds so weird, but he was so brutally honest, like, and funny and real, and I wanted to record it, but it was a YouTube ad, so I couldn't get it in time.
Yeah.
And it was so, like, I was like, that's how you do it, right? Like, somebody who I wouldn't even think about, like, trying to get in front of. Here's this guy who did this. Like, I was like, I want to learn how to fight without,
Yeah.
disarm somebody attacking me when I get attacked by a knife and save my loved ones, But it was so genuine, and I could tell this guy was going to do it for real. And then there was this drone pilot guy who was teaching people how to fly drones, and he showed his worst crash ever.
Ooh.
Right, that he did and ruined a $8,000 drone.
See, I love
right?
that.
And he's like, that's what happens, right? And that was me. And now look at me. And then he shows his stuff for Toyota, and he shows his stuff for big motion pictures and all of this stuff. And you see his journey, and he said he gave you this pathway. He didn't stair step me from you're going to crash all your drones to you're going to work in Hollywood, right? He went, the early win was this small one, right? I figured one little thing out, and I unlocked a little code, and then that led to the bigger story. And I think if we can just tell those stories about how we had a human event happen in our business life that we learned from, and that we fell on our faces 1,000 times, because failure, I'm sorry, I'm rambling here, but failure isn't a person. It's a freaking event, and that's it. And it's like we always say in this company, and Callahan, you nail this, is there's no such thing as failure. There's just success and learning. And if we follow that rule, video's the way to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Megan, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
As a woman,
yes.
What do you know, now that you're more comfortable and you kind of have a routine, what do you feel like is your bare minimum prep? Like, what is your lowest common denominator that you're willing to do routine wise to feel camera ready?
I'm like very like lazy about that stuff, and like I have a lot of my friends tell me that like I'm not good about making sure I look decent before I get on camera. Like, I know that's a thing. Like, I'll throw up anything online. I'd rather throw it up if it doesn't look good than not throw it up. So I tend not to do, it depends what I'm filming for, but basically I put foundation on and a little bit of concealer, mascara, and bronzer. Like today I didn't even do my hair because I had a meeting, and I usually feel fine. If I'm going on set and I have to film something, obviously, like, I would do more. But I think anything to make me feel like a little more spruce than I just rolled out of bed. But I don't think I know several people, and I will not name names, who will spend hours getting ready and doing their hair and their makeup, and they look like they're going to go do a beauty pageant and then don't end up filming anything.
Oh.
So, or filming it and not using it because they don't like how they look. And so then next time they go to film, they're like, okay, great, now I have to do 4 hours of makeup again. And so I think, especially even in the beginning, just making it so that you feel decent and like good enough to, be in front of people, but you don't need to approach it like you have to look like this glam model every time you film.
Nope.
That's my opinion.
You guys, I am so lucky as a dude. I mean, I have the quarantine beard, and my hair hasn't been cut in a month and a half. And, there is that expectation. But then there's this artificial thing about like getting so dolled up, and then you're in front of like a beer poster, it doesn't match. It doesn't match. And I think that both of you pull this off so well. It's always very natural. It's always really relaxed. Like you're trying to look put together, but not, like you're trying. And I think that's part of the deal is like, don't try so hard. It's okay. Yeah. You are enough. You are worthy of being on camera and saying something.
It's not a Vogue shoot. And to be honest, and my acting coach would always say this actually, but look at like the most famous actors and actresses in the world. They are not all beauty queens or, spokespeople. Like, you don't need to look immaculate to do a video.
No.
At all.
No.
Like, And I think that a lot of women do use that as a crutch as to why they're not getting started and they're not going to get on camera. Like, I literally heard one woman say, I'm going to start filming my YouTube videos once I get a mini facelift.
Oh, dear.
Like, just start doing it. No one cares
Just
when you get a
start.
facelift. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, is that your brand? Are you a plastic
No, it wasn't.
surgery
No.
connoisseur, a specialist, like, okay. No. Otherwise, what's coming out of your mouth should be much more important. And if that's not the case, then we need to work on your messaging and we need to talk about what your substance is.
Absolutely.
It shouldn't just be this, That's why,
And I think male and female, people don't see themselves the way the world sees them.
No.
There was that Dove. Do you remember that Dove spot, that Dove campaign?
Oh, yeah,
where
I
they
like
had
that.
the crime sketch artist, and they had a friend describe them, and then they had
I love that.
Themselves describe themselves. They had the person describe themselves to the sketch artist, and like they were two different faces. And when they saw the ones that their friends described, they all cried, and it was so beautiful because it's like we see you in a much better light than sometimes you see yourself. And when you can, when the inside matches the outside, you're golden, right? Because it's an inside job. It really is. For both of you, the thing I always pay attention to and that inspires me is that there's this internal life that's coming out, right? There's this, you're okay with who you are. And everything we do starts on the inside. It has nothing to do with one should not come with yogurt on your t-shirt, but I get it, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, you put together is enough, right?
Yes.
Even in a slight way, right?
And I will say, also adding to that, is once you do start doing it, you gain more confidence. Like it's like a catch-22. It's not a catch-22, but
snowball effect.
Thank you. Yeah, like
you
can feel super insecure in front of the camera, but also you'll start feeling less insecure and you'll get more confident in what you're doing by just doing it. And I've also seen like beautiful models do YouTube vlogs, and they're super boring because they aren't really giving out any information, and they're just worried about doing this with like their hair and like it's not entertaining. I'd rather watch someone who's like unattractive, jump around and something than like this perfectly put together person.
And I think that the thing for when people are afraid to, what do I say?
Yeah.
Well, if you jump and don't know where you're going to land, you're going to break your knees, right? Yes. And so all it takes is, and for those of you who aren't, who are listening to this as a podcast, not on the video version of it, this is my last video. It's just bullet points, right? It's just bullet points. It's not, I don't have the whole script, but it's a marker for me. And don't forget, jump cuts are fine too, because I will consult that and go like this, and there's a 30 seconds of me watching this. Well, that just gets cut out. There's a jump cut. Nobody cares. There's some other tricks you can do so it doesn't look like a jump cut. And I think that if you know where you're going and you know what you want to say, you can communicate those ideas. Just say it and move on to the next point. You don't have to have an essay about it.
No,
and it doesn't matter.
It also doesn't matter if you mess up words or you flub. You could say it again.
Right.
It's a camera, so editing is great. That's a big thing.
Editing is great.
Yeah.
So how do you guys prepare for that? I mean, how do you guys, what does your outlining kind of look like, right? I mean, how do you guys, when you do your videos, are you popping off just little bullet points, or what are you doing?
Callahan.
So we all know this in our company. I'm kind of I'm the strategist. I like very kind of detailed and organized with things. So I do have sort of an outline of bullet points, and I will kind of have like major points. I sometimes work backwards because depending on the structure of a video, you want to make sure that there is something like a nugget at the end that's really going to keep people satiated and ready for, whatever is coming. So I kind of sometimes will work backwards in that respect. But when I am really planning out a video, I also... I'm so sorry.
Oh boy.
I'm already done.
Dude, if you are not seeing this on video, Megan, in the middle of this impassioned thing, yawns like, holy shit. My God.
Could this girl just shut up?
Look at her. She's all wound up.
I'm sorry. I'm very tired today. I'm on my 4th cup of coffee, which is worrisome.
Oh my God, that is. I am actually worried. Next is intravenous. All I was going to say is,
I'm sorry, Callie.
what I also like to do is I plan out some B-roll shots or any supporting footage so that I can make sure that I have everything categorized up front so that I'm not speaking to something that I have no way of putting up there. And I just kind of verify some of the information. So I just like to double check those things, which is, I guess, more of an intermediate type of setup, but that's kind of what I do. So just as far as my messaging, I bullet point things, and then I just make sure that I have it kind of set up in an order that's going to be, I can cut it together in any respect. I want to make sure I have all the pieces so I can put them together properly.
The thing I love about that is that you reverse engineer from the ending so that you can build towards that. Great. I mean, honestly, a great
smart
tip. And we're just about ready, or we're in the edit process for that thing we shot up at Lake Michigan before all of this hullabaloo came. And you're the queen of B-roll, which I love, right? I just am jump cut city, man. And the great thing is you get out of your office. You get out of that. Like, everybody's got that thing about being in their office with the whiteboard behind them, or that standard door that's in every American house, right?
Yep.
And we've all seen them. And, getting out, that video, I think people are going to be really surprised by, because it's an epic adventure. But all the way from Callahan getting in the car to coming back home, there's a ton of takeaway and information. There was so much, and it was delivered while she was just going through her day and getting coffee and going up to the lake for a walk and doing all that. And I love that you use B-roll in such an effective way. It's a sales video, but it looks like a little mini doc, and they're beautiful. They're beautiful.
Thank you. I try.
Yeah.
We all have our own
The footage
styles,
looks
which
amazing.
I think is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I also outline. I'm also very impatient and get these and this is not necessarily the right way to be, but I get these bursts of inspiration, and then if I don't film at that second, I get anxiety, and then it'll spiral. So if I don't get it out, then I feel like I'm gonna explode. But that's more for off the cuff stuff. But I usually will outline and do all the work beforehand, so I'm writing it down. And then during it, we keep saying, you can edit. So even when I was doing a video for one of the videos we did recently, I just had an outline. And then if I had to pause and look down to what I was saying, that was fine. You just cut it.
Yeah, totally.
Well, and that's the thing is, Callahan is the strategist, and she is very detail oriented, so it's reflected in her videos.
Yeah.
You are highly inspired, and you lean into. You'll go with an inspiration very quickly, and it's
Passionate.
immediate, and it happens, and so. I think the takeaway from that is just lean into who you really are, right? Callahan's organized, so she makes those kinds of videos. Your stuff is like a Rolling Stones concert. It's like this smashing of stuff together that is really cool, and that's what makes it real. That's what makes it authentic, and that's what makes it fun. And I think that out of what you guys just said, I think it's just, if you are an excitable person, it's okay to be excitable as long as that's really you.
Yeah.
If you are a
Right.
detail-oriented person and you really want to be methodical about it, then go for that. But that comes from who you really are. And that
Yep.
makes so
Absolutely.
much more sense than anything. I know we keep leaning on that, but it's literally the linchpin of all of this.
Yeah.
No, it's true. You can there's been so many times where I'll see someone else's video and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna just recreate that but a little different. And it doesn't work.
Like all the marketers who keep copying, all the ones who we always talk about, like the boss babes and the badass boss babe. It's all the boss babes. But like that just sounds it's cringy because there's so many people who are using the same exact way of talking.
Yeah.
And it's just, people are bored of it and it's not original and it's
It'd be the equivalent of me, trying to, it's that idea of like, hey, we're all going to meet down at the juice bar, right? No, we're not. Like, I don't do that, right?
Yeah, it feels so templated, and it's like you're joining forces with, I don't know. It's not, I was in a sorority, so it's not like that, but it's just, we all wear pink, we have to do this, and it's like, no, you don't. We're grown-ass women, and if we actually are boss bitches, then we can figure this shit out without having to be you. I can be me, you be you,
Right.
and not everything has to be on a marble backdrop. I'm just saying, it's beautiful for the select few. It don't feel the need to carbon copy whatever you see, again, because it's working for her, does not mean it is authentically you. Don't try to do it.
So I know we said we were going to do some intermediate stuff, but given where the conversation went, I think it was really important to drill down into what that starter person needs to do. And I think the thing that I walked away from this conversation with was about, it starts on the inside. It starts with I literally do not want to have a bumper sticker saying that says, believe in yourself, right? But I do want to say that it starts with realizing that you're enough and that you're worthy of saying something, that you're allowed to. And if not you, then who, right? Why not
Right.
you?
Why not?
So we'll get to that intermediate stuff in the next thing, but this was rocking.
Cool.
So what do we got coming up, right? Like what's happening? We have some good videos coming out. We have the one where it's Callahan's Day Out, where she teaches you how to get out of the office and let people, she calls it, drop into your day, right? She allows people to drop into her day and just meet her right where she is. And it's such a great, and it's with some B-roll, it's got some great stuff, and uses a GoPro in a really fun way, makes some tea on the beach even, which was really nice. Then what else do we got coming up?
We have a 4-day mini course that we are running right now. So for anyone that is getting ready to make some video and they're really not sure where to start, this is a great baseline for all the things you kind of need to have in place to consider before you even hit record. So they can sign up for that on our website. We have a link to it in all of our social channels as well.
And that's helpful if you don't know where to even begin in terms of what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Or like what videos you want to make, which I know I keep hearing from people. So that's very helpful.
Yeah, so if you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be down below, a link to that. And then if you're listening to this, just go to our website. It'll be right there and you'll see it, or go to our IG or whatever.
And we are doing a lot. Sorry, I cut everyone off, but we're also doing a lot of TikTok videos with filming tips and pointers.
Awesome. Well, my friends, this has been a blast.
So much fun.
This has been really, really fun. So now, Megan, it's your turn to start editing once again, once we strap you to that desk and force you to edit more shit. But this has been great, and I am so proud to work with you guys, and this has just been amazing. Honestly,
Same.
It's such a funny little family we've created.
It's a cool collab.
All right, well, signing off. Join us for the next one.